Welcome back. Today's topic is electricity price indices. In the last video lecture, we have seen about the price volatility, what are the various factors which do affect the electricity prices, and why the electricity prices are so volatile in nature. And we have also seen the simple expressions for determining the annual volatility given the daily volatility. And in this video lecture, we will see about the electricity price indices. I hope that by the end of this video lecture, you will be able to state the need of electricity price indices and list out at least 4 or 5 price indices which are used across the globe. And I hope that you will be able to define the basis risk. Moving ahead, I will start with the need for price indices. You know that electricity price prices are particularly very highly volatile in nature. You know that it majorly depends upon the supply, the demand, and also the outages, the forced outages. These are affecting the electricity prices. You know that in the last class itself, we have seen that there are so many categories which fall under supply class and so many factors which do fall under demand class. As a whole, we can say that due to the variations in supply and demand and due to the forced outages, there is always a high deviation in the electricity prices. To analyze this particular price volatility, price indexes are used. And these vary from one country to another country. For a common man like me, who am new to the markets, if these prices are varying too much, then it is always a concern. So there must be some sort of measure to understand how these prices are varying. So that particular term is the price index, and it is a measure of the volatility of prices. If the price index is too high, it means that the prices are very volatile in nature. If the index is too low, then it means that the prices are constant. So the standard one which has been used in USA is the Dow Jones Price Indices. See, in particular, as I have already said in unit number 1 and 2, US electricity markets. There are so many US electricity markets. These, especially the stock market of Dow Jones, it has several electricity price indices for different locations of USA. You know that USA is having somewhere around 50 states, and there are so many electricity markets in USA. So everyone maintains their own electricity price index. So all of these indices, they are weighted average price of electricity energy which is traded at that particular location. And most of the times these indices are measured in dollars per megawatt hour, where the volume of electricity will be in megawatt hour. See, these are the list of few price indices which have been in the market in USA. And if you carefully see, in India particularly, we do employ this wholesale price index, WPI, which is an indicator for inflation for any commodity. It is not just for electricity. For any commodity, we do employ WPI, wholesale price index. It is a measure of average wholesale price movement and measures the average change in price of commodities. The wholesale price index is calculated with the base year of 2011 and 12. So if I want to measure the wholesale price index, then the value is directly given as current price by base period price into 100. Now, this is the wholesale price index of electricity across the country from the financial year 2013 to 2019. 5 minutes. And if you carefully see that if the base year is considered as this one, if you see, the prices are increasing in this fashion. And how to work on this volatility? The one thing which can be taken up to work on this volatility is we should forecast the demand very perfectly. If proper forecasting is done, then automatically measures can be taken to increase the generation or to curb the demand in one or other way. And the other one is hedging, or what we call it as future contracts. If you secure your products for a long period of time, then automatically you can overcome this volatility. And one more thing which I would like to mention in this lecture is about physical contracts and financial contracts. What do you mean by physical contract and what do you mean by financial contracts? In physical contracts, a seller has always an obligation to deliver the electricity that buyer and seller have agreed upon at a predefined future time. In contrast to physical contract, financial contracts do not include the delivery of electricity. So what does that mean? If you are, let us suppose, if you are paying the price and taking the delivery of electricity, it is considered as physical contract. If you are just paying the money and not delivering the electricity, which means that it is done for a future period of time, it is called as a financial contract. So financial contract are either cash settled based upon the contracted future price or cash settled based on the difference between contracted future price and a reference price. In both the alternatives, the contracted electrical quantity would be used for settlement calculation. And the difference between reference price and the contract price are settled daily for future contracts, utilizing some marginal calls in which market participants pay the margin to a clearing house, normally to a power exchange, which is available in pool markets. And lastly, I would like to mention a key term in future markets, what we call it as a basis risk, which is the difference between the electricity spot price and the price of the nearest futures contract for the electricity at any point of time. The difference between electricity spot price and the price of the nearest futures contract for the electricity. And basis risk represents uncertainty as to whether the cash futures spread will widen between the times a hedge position is implemented and liquidated. Having said this, I'll close this one. We'll discuss in detail about the basis risk in the classroom itself. Okay. I hope that now you are able to state the need for electricity price indices and list the different price indexes in US and India. And we'll discuss this particular term in the classroom. Okay. Thank you.